Hello everyone. Welcome to the second lecture. In this lecture, we are going to learn about what is electric charge. So electric charge is basically the physical property of a matter that causes it to experience force when kept inside a electric and magnetic field. So as you can see, electric charge is responsible for various kinds of electrical phenomena. Okay, like what kind of phenomena? Phenomena such as the production of electromagnetic field. Then we have like production of current, okay, lightning. Okay, so these kinds of phenomena can be explained by the help of charges. Okay, so interaction of charges are responsible for the production of force, as we have seen in the definition. Okay, so the SI unit of charge is Coulomb. Okay, it is denoted by a letter C. Now the second thing is we have the types of charges. Okay, so when we talk about the types of the charges, the first one we have is positive charge. Okay, what is the property of a positive charge? Okay, so positive charge, for example, like protons. Okay, so protons are particles which carries positive charge. Okay, the second one we have is negative charges. Okay, negative charges, the example of that is electrons. So each electron has a 10 raised to power minus 19 coulombs. Okay, so negative sign depicts the polarity. In case of a proton, only the symbol changes, else the charge symbol changes, the charge remains the same. Okay, so the next thing is the formula that we use. Okay, so Q is equal to I into T. So charge is given by the product of what is I. So I is current. Okay, I stands for current, whereas T stands for time. Okay, so this formula is important from numerical point of view. So this formula is very important. The next thing we have are the properties. Okay, so what are the properties of charge? Okay, so the first one we have is like charges repel each other. Okay, so for example, if we have two positive charges in close proximity to each other, the force that will be applied by them on each other will be in the opposite direction. So they will try to repel each other. On the other hand, the second property states that unlike charges attract each other. Okay, so for example, if we have a positive charge and a negative charge, so the force that will be applied, they will try to attract each other. Okay, so the force of attraction will take place. The third property is the law of conservation of charge. So law of conservation of charge. Okay, so law of conservation of charge. So what do you mean by that? So it means that charge can neither be created. So it can neither it can be created nor it can be destroyed. Okay, so it can only be transferred from one form to the another form. Okay, so okay, so it is very clear that interaction of charges are responsible for the production of force. So what will be the magnitude of the force? So the magnitude of the force is calculated using the Coulombs law. Okay, so is calculated using Coulombs law. Okay, so what does this law particularly suggest? So this law states that the force between two charges is directly proportional to the product of the charges q1 and q2. Let's say there are two charges. Let's say the first charge is q1 and the second charge is q2, and they are distance apart from each other. So the Coulombs law states that the first thing is the force is directly proportional to the product of the charges, and it is inversely proportional to the square of distance between them. Okay, so if we remove the sign of proportionality, we are getting a constant k, which is we are getting F is equal to k into q1 q2 on r square. Okay, so what is the value of k? So k, the constant, stands for 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. So what is epsilon naught? Epsilon naught is equal to permittivity. Okay, permittivity of free space, and it has a value of 8.85 into 10 raised to power minus 12 farad per meter. Okay, so this is important, and these terms you need to memorize for future use. Okay, next thing we have is the methods of charging, like how we can produce charge. Okay, so the first one we have is by the help of static friction. Okay, or by the help of friction, by rubbing two objects with each other, we can induce charges in them. The second method is by induction. Okay, by induction, and the third is by the help of conduction. Okay, so these are the three methods to produce charge. So that's all for today. In the next lecture we will learn about what is current and various kinds of its properties.